It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Yes, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? Geno Jones Showtime. I'm back. This is day 2. I'm back. Thank you. Shout out to everybody who's watching me live right now. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Be sure to like this and every episode. Please share this episode with everybody you know, all your fans and friends and family and followers. You can share it on their different social media pages. You can tag their page. Once again, I would love to have you as part of the Geno Jones family, Geno Jones Show family as a sponsor or advertise. I'd love to have that. Reach out to me via email, Geno Jones Show. So you spell it, that's how you spell it with Geno Jones Show at Gmail. You can do that. Also, Geno Jones Show at Gmail, my email address. You can use that if you would like to make a financial contribution. If you would like to support the show financially as an individual or company, you can Zelle or Cash App my media company. Zelle, like I said, just Geno Jones. Use my email address, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Cash App, $ Dad G Jones. It's all one word. $ capital D like Daddy, lowercase a like Apple, lowercase d like David, capital G like Geno, capital J like Jones, capital O like oatmeal, capital N like Nancy, capital E like elephant, capital S like Sam, or sand in the hourglass. Okay? There we go. So Friday, TGI, Friday, my week in review, Funny Friday show. My guest co-host, Miss K-Love, Christy Baxter. She will be with me. Everybody that's watching me live right now, my chat room is open, please. You can start a conversation. You can join the conversation. You can ask a question and you want me to give you a shout out. Please jump in the chat room and let me know who you are, who's watching, and where you are watching from. Where are you? You could be here in the Carolinas, Charleston, South Carolina, wherever. Anywhere. From New York, Philly, Detroit City, DC, VA, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that whole area. Charlotte, come on, North Carolina, stand up. Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, yep. Down to all the way Florida, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville. Hit a brother up. ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. Chicago, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So Eastern Time, East Coast, 7:30 p.m. New start time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Hello, Chicago. Stand up from Minneapolis to Milwaukee. Shot down Chicago. We got Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa checking in. I know Iowa's always watching the show. St. Louis, Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Houston, Texas, stand up, Dallas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, live in Los Angeles, live in Las Vegas, and everybody on the West Coast, Pacific time from Portland to Seattle, Sacramento, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area, San Diego, 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. That is how we do that thing, y'all. That's how we do that thing, how we do that thing. Right here, Monday through Friday, unless I tell you otherwise. So there was no live show Monday or Tuesday, but we were back yesterday. Here it is, Thursday. Man, if you missed last night's show, it really got heated at the end. We were just talking about anti-black. I was talking about part of an extended monologue, anti-blackness among black people, period. Anti-blackness, the black people who have been brainwashed with the anti-blackness, that white nationalists and those, because racism is global. So this ideology of white nationalism for centuries that has even brainwashed black people from across what they call the diaspora. No, not just here in America, blacks in the Caribbean, blacks in South America, blacks in Africa, in Europe, in Asia. And they don't make up the majority. Not at all, not even close. However, it does exist because anti-blackness, racism is global, and it's been global, and it's big business, along with just hate and bigotry in all of its forms, just like sexism and racism. It's big business, and it's always been very, very big business. But so one of my viewers last night, she's regular. She goes by the handle Great Hustle 843. And basically she's talking about how, we're different. Black Americans are different than blacks from Africa or the Caribbean. And they don't like us. They don't mess with us. So, feelings are not facts. Now, yes, there's tensions between black folks in America. As my mother says, teeth and tongue fall out, and they share the same mouth. So yes, you have a segment of blacks from Africa who have been brainwashed with the anti-blackness. Well, I've made it, so why can't you? That's a brainwashing. As a matter of fact, speaking of brainwash, you want to know how this thing really works? Shout out to a brother named Thomas Burrell. I had the honor to meet him a long time ago. Probably like in the 80s. I was just coming out of college. Thomas Burrell used to run Burrell Advertising, one of the legendary advertising agencies on the planet. At one time, it was like the #1 black advertising agency. At one time, it was one of the top advertising agencies, black-owned, white-owned, period. Based in Chicago. And Thomas Burrell, he wrote a book called Brainwashed. And he just talked about how this insidious white nationalism, as some call white supremacy, it was just a brainwash. This whole construct of racism was a brainwashing, and I've said this so many times, basically to get people to hate each other, to get the masses, by a small handful of people who invented this made-up con game, or con. They call it a construct. It's really a con, but it's the reason they call it a construct because it's really a con. This whole con of race. It's not rooted in science or biology. It's not. You get a DNA test, it won't say, oh, I'm 92% white or 95% black. It will not. No DNA test will ever say that. Because race is not rooted in science. It was made up and created so a small handful of people could control all the money and the power and basically control the society and kind of dictate to the masses how they should live. Basically was just to live to make them rich. And to get just enough education so you can get out and get a job and work for us. We don't want you to get enough education where you can become entrepreneurs, and we don't want you to be smarter than us. We don't want you to really be smart at all. Just learn enough where you can go out and get a job and work for our companies and make us rich and go to wars so we can invade countries and we can take countries and take their resources. That's the real. So the anti-blackness among black people, it is not the predominant mentality, not at all. Got to travel. Great hustle. I'm sure you've traveled. So when you travel, have you gone? Now I haven't gone to Africa. I've had business relationships, developed friendships with people who travel back and forth. I've known many people who've come to America from the continent, and I do enough reading, research, and I've had conversations with people who go back and forth who understand that the majority of those in Africa, like every culture, every country, every culture looks up to what America does, and really what Black Americans do, because we set the trend. We are the trendsetters, the tastemakers. We set the global trends for music, have done it for centuries. Music, all the musical art forms out of America, including country music, evolved from black people. Yes, country music. Our African ancestors from slavery, then when they became sharecroppers, were basically, they had to go work and make a little money, just a little money, for a lot of times the same people who enslaved them became sharecropping. They had to work on the land to make any kind of money. And a lot of those songs, blues and country, came from our ancestors who created their own music. And then the overseers and the white folks heard the music. It's like, wow, these stories about, heartbreak and, sadness and, my woman did this, left me. You had white artists who basically adopted, stole, tried to remix with these blacks who were sharecroppers from slaves, enslaved ancestors to sharecroppers, copy the music. That's the roots of country music. Just Google somebody or Chat GPT or Digital Green Book, which is a black-owned AI company, like Big Mama Thornton. Country music, rock and roll. No Elvis Presley without Chuck Berry. No Elvis Presley without Little Richard. No Elvis Presley without Chubby Checker. So I could go on and on and on. Hip hop, R&B, and all of its music, fashion, art, you name it, you could go on and on and on and on. So the bottom line is, those who are of what they call the African diaspora, that just means the black people, the global population of black people. Those are African ancestry, be it African Americans, or black Americans, black Africans, black folks, those with the African heritage from the Caribbean who wound up, whose ancestors were taken from West Africa, dropped off in the Caribbean, be it the Bahamas, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Haiti, all the other islands in the Caribbean, South America, Brazil, where the majority of enslaved Africans were taken, like 5 million. So the majority of our enslaved ancestors actually went to Brazil, Colombia, other parts of South America, primarily Brazil. So we have to lean in and develop relationships, professional, personal, because the majority of people on the planet are actually people of color, as they say. So we're really not minorities. It's like the people who globally are a minority in terms of population, people who identify as white. You can do your own research. Like I said, Chat GPT, Digital Green Book, that. Google that. So lean in. Lean into love, lean into community, lean into culture, lean into we are all we got. But we got everything we need. And we're all we need. We continue to come together. Because in America, we have always come together. We came together out of enslavement, Reconstruction, where we became politicians, U.S. senators, U.S. House of Representatives. And then even after Reconstruction ended and Jim Crow, they basically created the Jim Crow legal system to legally oppress our ancestors. In spite of that, we still built these thriving black communities all across America. The Greenwood District of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, Rosewood, neighborhoods in Black Belt, thriving black neighborhoods, Chicago and New York, all over, only to have basically racist, hateful, jealous, envious whites who were not as thriving, who weren't as successful, who they weren't thriving, and they envied these black people that had, from scratch, even with Jim Crow laws, created their own communities. Literally, the best hotels and movie theaters, hospitals, doctors, lawyers' office, grocery stores, restaurants, every kind of business you could imagine, only to have hateful, evil domestic terrorists burn them down, state-sanctioned violence, bombing, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Just Google the Greenwood massacre, Greenwood race massacre. Well, you had like the local, state, and probably federal government that took a part of burning down the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, only to have it rebuilt like 20 years later, even bigger and better than before, only to have the federal government destroy it by building an interstate right through the heart of it, which the federal government, that was Harry Truman's administration, when you had the federal interstate highway program in all your big cities, those interstates were built directly through thriving black neighborhoods. Chicago. You show me an interstate, and if you do some history, if you do some research, history lesson, talk to historians, those neighborhoods where in your big cities where interstates were built, when those interstates were built, they were built through neighborhoods that were predominantly or virtually all black. So that's just, it's not an opinion, that's just a fact. So we have to lean in. We have to lean into our humanity. We have to lean into our sense of loving each other. Like I said, because we're all we got. Truth is, we're all we need. And we got everything that we need. So we come together. So that was last night's monologue primarily. So if you missed last night's show, go back and check that out. It was amazing. Tomorrow we're going to talk some more about, we'll have some fun with the Essence Festival. There's a lot of talk about Essence Festival. Apparently they had a lot of problems. First of all, they had virtually all of their corporate sponsors pulled out because they were afraid of Owen Chitler and DEI, if you engage in any DEI programs. So even companies like McDonald's, they were big sponsors, like 2/3 of their corporate sponsors pulled out of Essence Festival. And then the live shows, which is Essence is really known for, their concerts, 3 nights of live concerts. I don't know who handled the production in terms of making sure the artists got on and off on time and just making sure the artists had everything that they needed backstage, and just that whole production aspect of it was bad. So bad, Stephanie Mills, who performed, she wrote a letter, an open letter to Essence, just saying, guys, look, I was honored to perform, but you got to do better. It was just really bad. It was unprofessional. So to the folks that's running Essence, hey, listen, it's probably too late for you all to try to come up with a different strategy, but realize we're all we got. But we got everything we need. So where the emphasis was on these corporate sponsors, maybe the emphasis should be on the community that has supported Essence for over 2 decades, that supported the Essence Festival. Millions of black people, including myself, have gone to the Essence Festival, and millions of us love it. Black folks with modest means, who don't make a lot of money, to black folks who are billionaires. Maybe reach out to the community, reach out to the culture, change the game, remix it, do it differently. When 1 door closes, 3 doors open. It's just a suggestion. When folks tell you they don't want to be bothered with you, thank them. because they probably didn't want to be bothered with you to begin with. And a lot of these companies didn't want to really be bothered or support this event that put a spotlight and centered and celebrated Black excellence in entertainment, music, business. Because the Essence Festival, at its peak, in its heydays, celebrated Black excellence in every arena. Entertainment, education, business, politics, fun, but the educational panels and seminars. So at Essence, the peak of the Essence Festival, it was amazing, and it completely centered the community and the culture. And Essence Festival has been a cultural icon in the community. We love the Essence Fest. So we got to just do it a little different. So folks who run the Essence Fest, clip this part, all right? Screen grab this and send it to the people of Essence. The community is here. The community loves you. The community wants Essence to win, to do well. Because what the Essence Festival has provided for the community and the culture over 2 decades, so much joy, happiness, some of the greatest entertainers in our culture, from Luther and Frankie Beverly and Mays and Janet Jackson and the Whispers, Mary J. Blige, and I could go on and on, hip hop, LL, just some of the biggest names, Patti LaBelle, the Isley Brothers. I could go on and on and on. The Jill Scott, the biggest names in R&B music for the last 30 years, basically. They've been at the Essence Festival, so it's been amazing. So shout out to the Essence Festival. We'll talk about it a little more tomorrow with my guest co-host, Miss K-Love, Miss Christy Baxter, K-Love. All right, so listen, I want to thank everybody for watching once again. I want to encourage everybody, spread the word. We're only about 100 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means my media company and this show will become a YouTube partner, meaning that YouTube will basically give a brother that bag. Once a month, my media company will get monthly income, a check from YouTube. So that's great. That's great for the business. It's great for the show, not just my media company, so the show can not just grow, but thrive. And we can just make additions, improvements, and eventually I'll be able to employ people, give folks a shot, those who want to get into this industry, who eventually will want to start their own media company, develop their own TV show that they can stream live. So I'm really excited about that, being able to create opportunities, especially the next generation or the next generations of young people who want to do this and take it to the next level, take it even higher. So I'm really excited about that. So I'd love to have you as a sponsor. Those watching, you can be a part of the Geno Jones Show family, have an opportunity to come on the show and be featured and basically tell your story and just talk about your business and promote your business, your products, your goods, your services, whatever your business is all about, and share your story, your journey. You know, as a matter of fact, you're going to have that opportunity a couple times a month. If you have a video commercial that we could run, it will run every day in the beginning, at the end of every episode live. That means every episode that's archived, because we record every episode live, like in real time. YouTube is recording this show, so as soon as my live stream is over, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch the entire show, anything you missed. And that commercial will be on that recorded episode, so people will get to see your message multiple times, along with being an official sponsor, which means you get that official shout out at the beginning and the end. The live, they call it like a live sponsorship, like the Geno Jones Show is brought to you by Geno Media LLC. Amazing media company, one of the best in the world. Whatever your slogan, whatever your marketing statement or your mission statement, So reach out to me, GenoJonesShow@gmail. That's my email address, and I'll get you all the information about sponsorship that you need and want. Also, for those who would like to support the show financially, make a financial gift, make a financial contribution, or give a gift, financial gift to the show. We love you for that too. There's no gift, there's no contribution financially. It is too small or too big for the show. $5, fine. 50, 500, 50,000, 5 million, 5 billion. So, and there are two ways that you can support the show financially. You can Zelle, Geno Jones Show. Just use my name, Geno Jones Show, or Geno Jones, and my Gmail, or my email address, which is a Gmail, GenoJonesShow@gmail. So you can Zelle your contribution that way. Thank you to Zelle. Shout out to Zelle. You can Cash App, $Dad G Jones, like your daddy, Dad. $, capital D like Daddy, lowercase a like Apple, lowercase d like Donnie, capital G like Geno, capital J like Jones or Johnny, lowercase o like Oprah, lowercase n like Nanette, lowercase e like extra, lowercase s like sand in an hourglass, $Dad G Jones. So you can do that now, you can do it whenever. So, all right, shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. Check out what Kel is doing, because Kel be cutting up. Check him, his work, his magic. He's the master barber. He's the hair artiste. He's the hair maintenance, manage whatever's got to do with hair, especially with them clippers, men, women. Mr. Markel Bailey, Designer Cuts, they got you. All right, Kel be cutting up on IG or Instagram, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her and her Lexi Jones collection out, LX.NCL_. LX.N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi _. All right, so if you missed any of this episode, please go back and watch it. Also, I got a big shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage, wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. Check him out on Instagram, Mario Uomo, Mario UOMO, MARIO, Mario Uomo, UOMO, and Flyball, the Flyball collection. All that is at Mario UOMO on Instagram or IG. Shout out to Sonia and Preston, Taste of the Islands. Man, if you love Jamaican cuisine, they have got the spot here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. So you come to town. It's in the West Ashley community. Taste of the Island. So it'll be easy to find. You can just search it. You can do it on Waze navigation or Apple navigation or Google Maps or whatever you got. Taste of the Islands in the West Ashley section of Charleston, South Carolina. So shout out to Sonia and Preston. Thank you guys for being big fans of the show. Me and you Friday, live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. Yes, it'll be Friday. We're going to make it a funny Friday. Have some fun on a Friday like we do with my guest co-host, Miss K-Love, Christy Baxter. All right, I love you guys. Speaking of love, I love each and every one of you. Absolutely, positively, unconditionally love you. And I will see you and me will be together Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.